In this video, I'm going to go through two items. One is the CFA Level 1 computer-based testing exam tutorial, okay, which is on the Prometrics website. And the second item is actually on the CFA Level 1 exam structure, okay, for the CBT exam. So in the first part, I'm going to now go through the Prometrics tutorial. Okay, you can find this on the Prometrics website. Okay, you can find the link in the description. So this on prometrics.com/test-takers/search/CFA. You can of course find it on Google as well. Just type Prometrics CFA tutorial. Now on this page, if you scroll down, okay, there is actually one area on the exam software tutorial. So if you click on this link here, okay, you will now be brought to a website, okay, another page where you can just have to click OK, right, and just say I accept these terms, click continue. Alright, and then you will have a series of tutorial introductions, so you can go through them, okay, but I'll just jump straight to the questions. Okay, so there are things about how to use the mouse, how do you navigate through, okay, like using the scroll function, okay, on how much time is remaining. Okay, you can flag the questions as I'll show you shortly. Okay, and of course they'll show you a sample of the questions. Okay, you can click next to move through, you can highlight, you can strike out the options. You can do section reviews, ending the exams, and of course tutorial conclusion. Now we will start the test. Okay, now there's only two sample questions provided for this tutorial, but I just want to show you how it looks like. So of course at the top you will see the section time remaining, which is about now with less than 5 minutes left. Okay, you will have two questions here. You can click the questions to jump through. Of course, you can jump from question 1 to question 2. Now, of course, if you were to answer the question, then immediately the question would turn into a gray color, and there will be a flip at the top left hand side of the question to show that it has been answered. Okay, now of course there are some other functions available here that you can actually use. For example, if you want to highlight a keyword, okay, you can, for example, here on the highlight capital, so you can just use your mouse to highlight capital, or you can just double click, okay, and then here we can just click the highlight, okay, then they'll highlight it as a yellow color. Of course, if you want to remove it, you can just click on it, okay, and then just click the highlight button again, and then you remove the highlight. Then of course you can also strike out the answers. So if you think that, let's say, Belgium is an unlikely answer, then you can just click right click, okay, right click on the solution or the option, and then you will just strike it out. Okay, and then if you think Ukraine is not a potential answer, you can strike it out as well. Okay, of course you can strike all three, but that defeats the purpose. Okay, but that is another additional function you have. Now if you feel that you want to revisit this question at a later stage, you can always click on the flag button at the bottom of the screen. Okay, then immediately you will see a flag sign. So this allows you to then revisit this question. It will let you know what questions were flagged, okay, during the course of your exam. Now in this case, you can move on to question 2, and then I'll just click, let's say if I don't want to answer, I have no answer yet, but I'll flag it anyway. Okay, so it still remains as a green colored number. Now at the bottom of the screen, you can actually do a click on the section review. Then you can actually filter by questions that are unattempted or attempted questions. Okay, for example, attempted questions is just number 1. For unattempted questions is only number 2. Okay, for, of course, if you just want to flag one, both are flagged. If I click on 2 here, okay, if I click the number 2 and I check the flag button, okay, now it will be removed from the review. Okay, you can even choose to lock the panel if you do not want the panel to disappear once you navigate to another question. Okay, so this is another function that you can use. Okay, if you want to navigate, if you want to keep using the panel to navigate through, then you can use this, right? Now of course you can also have you can also try out different things, like for example, right, if I lock the panel and then if I click question number 1, okay, the panel will still be there, okay, and if I click the question 2, the panel will still be there. But if I unlock the panel and let's say if I click the question 1, the panel will be removed. Then you have to open the panel again, which is quite cumbersome. Okay, so that's for the for that particular panel, okay, locking panel. Now other things that you can do. For level, another function that I think is useful for level 3 is that you can actually do copy and paste. Okay, so for example, if you just press capital, or you can highlight the whole thing if you want to. Thailand is the capital of which country. You can actually press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Okay, and the text will actually be copied over. Let me just show you that. If I click Ctrl copy, Ctrl C, and then maybe I'll paste it here. Ctrl V. Okay, you see that the text is actually pasted. The copy paste function does work there. So of course, for those doing level 3 morning session exam, you can use the control copy and paste to paste certain parts of the paragraph if you want to quote it or paraphrase it. And for level 3 exam, they did mention that CFA Institute did mention that they are going to develop a equation editor for those who wants to type the formula for the morning session. Okay, but they've also mentioned that the formula is not a must. Okay, if you know the answer, or if you can work out the answer, the number, the correct answer, you can just type it in, and then if it's correct, you'll get full marks. Typing the formula and will only give you marks if you get the wrong solution. Okay, if your final answer is wrong, then you can get partial credit. Okay, for your workings. Okay, so that's more on the level 3 side. Right, so that's for the exam tutorial. Okay, so once you're done, of course, you can click, let's say if you click finish test, they will alert you that you have not attempted all the questions. Some of them have been flagged, so you can choose to click cancel and then move on to finish all the remaining questions. Okay, revisit the flag questions, and of course, to finish up, let's say if I just click wandering albatross here, okay, and then just click finish, and then they will still tell you that some are being flagged just to warn you. Okay, and time period here, okay, it's done, so you can just click next, finish the test. Okay, and you have completed this exam. Okay, then you're done, you can close the tab. So that's for the exam tutorial. The next part that I'm going to go through is on the format, okay, of the exam, how the questions will be arranged, or how it will in what sequence will the questions be given. So for the old paper-based exam, the topics are always split into 10 topics per session. Okay, so in the morning and in the afternoon session, you will always have what we call a linear sequence, okay, where you will have ethics, and then you will have quantitative methods, economics, FRA, okay, and so on and so forth. And then the same order will repeat in the afternoon. So that's the paper-based test format. But now we're going to look at the new format for the computer-based testing exam for level 1. Now you can find this page, okay, on the CFA Institute's website. So I'll include the link in the description. You can read all about it there. But I've already summarized the points that you need to know for your exam. For the computer-based testing format, the testing hours will now be 4.5 hours. And this is split between the first session and the second session. So in the first session, you will have 2 hours and 15 minutes. And the second session, you will have 2 hours and 15 minutes. So total appointment time is 5.5 hours. And this covers the time that you need to reach the exam testing center, to pledge, to go through the tutorial and also the survey. So there'll be 30 minutes allocated there. And then there's also the 30 minutes optional break in between the two sessions. Now each question will have equal scoring, and they have included 20 experimental questions, what they call pre-testing. So out of 180 questions, there will be 160 questions which counts towards your score, and then the other 20 questions do not carry any score. Now, of course, this should not influence you in any way in terms of preparing for the exam, because you will not know what those 20 questions are. So don't be affected by that. Now, all the questions will come directly from your curriculum or the official textbook. Okay, so that's the focus that you should put on. And then there is the optional 30 minutes break between sessions that you may or may not want to make use of. So if you feel that you still have the momentum, okay, after the first session, you can just immediately start with the second session and just continue to do the exam. But of course, if you need a break, you need to go to the washroom, have a quick lunch or have a quick meal, then there is that 30 minutes window there. Now, in terms of the exam weight for the level 1 exam, so now for the coming year 2021, the weights will be in ranges. So for ethics, it will be like 15 to 20% rather than just 15%. So out of 180 questions, okay, for ethics, you can have between 27 to 36 questions. Okay, and then followed by financial reporting and analysis, that's 13 to 17%. For equity and fixed income, that's 10 to 12%. For quants and economics, that's 8 to 12%. Okay, and then of course corporate finance is also 8 to 12%. And then the remaining derivatives, alternative investments, and portfolio management, that's 5 to 8%. Now, if you look at how the questions are spread out for the CBT exam, so for the first session, you will have ethics, okay, and then you will have investment tools. Now, for investment tools, it includes quants, economics, and FRA. So within investment tools, for that section, the questions will be shuffled. So you will not get quants first, okay? You could get economics, you could get financial reporting, you then could get quants, okay, and then quants again, and then quants again, and then economics, and then maybe back to quants. So do not expect the questions to be sorted in any sequence, okay? It will be shuffled within that investment tools. Now, as long as you're within that same session, you can revisit the previous questions that you have done, okay? But of course, once you have moved on to the second session, then you will not be able to go back to the first session. Now, at the end of the first session, again, you have that 30 minutes optional break, okay, which you can make use of. And then you can start with the second session where you will have corporate finance, you will have portfolio management, okay? So this will not be shuffled. So if it's corporate finance, the whole section will be on corporate finance, okay, then followed by portfolio management, then you have investment assets. So within investment assets, it covers equity, fixed income, derivatives, and alternative investments. And again, in the same style, within investment assets, these 4 topics can be shuffled. It will be shuffled. So again, you could get, let's say, derivatives, and then alternative investments, and then fixed income, and then equity, okay, and the questions would just jump around. So don't expect the questions to be in any particular sequence. Right, so that's for the CBT exam structure. So you can find out more from the link in the description. Okay, it links back to the CFA Institute website. You can read more about it there. So all the best for your preparation.